Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2. The DreamHack Winter 2020 semifinals between two of the best that Europe and Korea have to offer. I couldn't think of a much better matchup. I don't think I've ever seen it before. But if both of the style of both of these players lives up to expectations, it could be and should be, and hopefully is one of the best matches of TERRAN versus Protoss ever. So with that humble introduction, let me first bring you in the top right, the South Korean Protoss, the Shield of AIUR stats. And in the bottom left, the French micro god, the biggest Beyond cosplayer the world has ever seen. From Team Liquid, the young TERRAN, Clem. So, I think both players have rounded out their styles lately. Like, Stats was pretty exclusively, and that's how we got the Shield of AIUR as his name. Neeb and Stats, Shield Protosses at the forefront. Like, we play defense, we get 3 bases, we get 70 probes, try and stop us. And occasionally they were stopped, but not usually. Whereas Clem, for a time, was attack, 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 micro god. This is awkward. Where now he definitely tends more towards the late game when needed. A lot of the times when Clem up until especially even later this year, always he has these games that look like he might be the best TERRAN player in the world. And then you ask him to build an armory, he's like, I don't think so. I was gonna finish that thought. I was so distracted by the build. I distracted myself. Let's focus up. This is such a high-level match. It's gonna take a lot. It already is gonna take a lot of focus. What I'm trying to say is Clem now definitely has more of a late-game plan, especially against Protoss. He's no longer trying to just make units that start with M, though they are a big part of the game plan most of the time. He's got a fully rounded-out game, and it makes him one of, if not the best TERRAN player, at least outside of Korea. So, starting out, already kind of a crazy start. This matchup is all over the place right now. And not like PvP all over the place, but like there's a lot of different styles and openers that people use. It's one of the most, if not, it's one of the most dynamic. Where we have here Clem with the knee breaker, the concussive shells. But of course, Stats can shade away. He's opened Stargate, going for Oracle, and if you have Marauders, you can't just tilt them over and shoot up. That is, unfortunately, not possible. So with those Marauders and with that Tech Lab early, he's going to have minimal anti-air. But at the same time, though, Clem, building Widowmines, he's kind of just going into something of a 2-1-1. And with a few mines mixed in, makes it difficult for anything like an Oracle. There was no Reaper. Now, you remember Clem's Reapers in TVZ are to be feared. They always get +1 kill over everyone else's Reapers for some reason. He's just that good. Even against Sarah, it's disgusting. But in TVP, the Reaper has been rendered not obsolete, but definitely more of an option than mandatory. Because Protoss has kind of got ridiculous about blocking Reapers for a while. There's a Widowmine here somewhere, I think. Where'd it go? Where is it? Ah! You see, Stats didn't see it either. I obviously like that. Wow, it's so well hidden that like I couldn't see it. I have observer cam without health bars. There's always an SCV mining from this patch. Oh my god, like a lot of players would put it under the back patch to be like in a pocket. But the further away patches have a gap in mining that you might be a little bit more easily able to see the mine. He put it near the close patch, which never has a gap in SCV mining. And this is why, by the way, 24 workers are still more efficient than long-distance mining. It's because those further patches, especially, take a little bit longer, and you could potentially have a third SCV. But I digress. Oh my god. That Widow Mine, like, stats. Like, he knew. He definitely, he suspected. And he still got it. I can't believe it. I'm just, you see, that's Clem. That's Clem in a nutshell right there. And now he's going to punch you in the face. Like, there was that little cute dance, the Widow Mine placement. He didn't even do anything. He just placed a Widow Mine, but somehow it was better. Doesn't seem very complicated. Stats is supply blocked. He's like, at this stage, he's already done the damage. He's denied the third. It's going to be Phoenix Colossus, but Phoenix Colossus is very gas heavy. Clem's going to be allowed to do almost whatever he wants. Look at the worker count. He's got 47 SCVs, which is more, believe it or not, than 46 probes on top of mules. And suddenly, well, the income's going his direction. Murders another probe. Finally deals with the Widow Mine. Colossi must be respected. There's going to be tanks. I think he stopped building Widow Mines, 1, because of the Colossi, and 2, because Phoenixes could use the Widow Mines against him. The Phoenixes are kind of an annoyance more than they are a counter to Bio. They're more, and maybe for taking out things like early Vikings. But we'll see. The Phoenix Colossus is a bit of an old school composition. It's still viable. Oh my god, he picks a tank. He gets the tank. Oh, that's a huge pickup and pick off. What a unit. Of all, I mean, obviously, of all the things to get, the tank is by far the most valuable. There's only going to be one tank with this push. Extended thermal lance is 10 seconds out. Stats decides it's time to go. There's no combat shields. It's also 10 seconds out. Without combat shields, those Marines just absolutely immolated by the Colossi. The rocks slowing down the chase. The Phoenixes could take out the Medivacs, but without cover, they're going to get gunned down by the Marines. Clem in full retreat. Stats has made great moves here and drawn things a lot closer. Stats got the pickoffs he needed. Phoenix is one of the most microable units in the game, and Clem is building at his third. This is pretty customary for Terrans, but that means there is a vulnerability while the command center is building. The standoff continues. Stats only has 3 gateways, if you don't include Stargates. 1 Stargate if you do. So Stats now has to decide, is he going to attack, or is he just going to sit back? He goes into the main. Phoenix is finding pickoffs. There's nothing here to defend. This is looking real rough for Clem. He doesn't, like right now, Stats doesn't need to attack. He just needs to take a good position and keep whittling Clem down, figuring out his unit composition, but Clem moves to intercept the Phoenixes. He finds them, gets 1. It's like dealing with mutas, except the mutas can shoot while moving, have more HP, and shields. And suddenly, wait, who's flanking who? Stats was waiting for his moment, crushes the tank. Vikings show up to the party, but maybe they didn't want to be invited at all. More SCV is gonna die. Medivacs knocked out of the sky, and right now Clem flailing, trying to put together a defense, but already preemptively outflanked. He scans the third, probably looking for the gases. There are no gases, and this is important, because now Clem knows there's not going to be Templar. Immediately after that, a Templar Archives is on the way. But for a he's going to pull the boys? He's still making SCVs, but if there are no gases at the third, it's a lot harder. Well, okay, Stats, calm down. He's like, no Templar, you say? Templar Archives and a Dark Shrine? Calm down. There's not going to be Storm for a while. I'm a little surprised. Either Clem is actually looking to just turtle up and play this out, or he's misjudged the situation drastically. Because right now, Stats is mining from a 4. Clem hasn't scouted it. It's almost implied, but he hasn't seen it. So there's a chance that Clem thinks it's 3 base versus 3 base. He probably knows it's a threat, but he probably doesn't know how quick it was. This kind of feels like he's gonna pull the boys. He's gonna get a few ghosts, and he's gonna go. Well, here we go. Because Clem is not getting... He doesn't... Like I said, not time for an armory. We're not getting to 2-2. This is not going to end that way. It's going to end with one decisive attack or a failure to break through Stats' shield. Stats right now has most of the things he'd want. He has the tech. He's not going for Storm. He's just going for Archons. The scan at the 4th. Demoralizing. The boys! Here we go! Yep, he didn't know exactly when the 4th was finished, but now it's finished way too early. It's time to go! Oh, the Colossi. Shield battery overcharged, keeping it intact against the Vikings. The Phoenixes come up. The Shield of AIUR bashes back. And with it, Clem is obliterated. Stats. Off to a rough start in the game against Clem's opener. But he bounces back. Clem just stuffed it every turn. The boys, a desperation move and still too late. Making it look easy. Okay, that didn't look easy. That did not look easy. But it looked strong. He takes game 1. Clem, a little bit of a weird start. And I think part of the reason... Clem didn't expect the first barracks to be scattered. He built on the low ground to hide it. He built it there so that way the first probe doesn't see it. Obviously. And maybe Stats overreacts or doesn't realize. But then the first probe just saw it. And got out. So... His little mind game opener didn't pay off. Not that that's a huge deal, but the little moves that Clem was trying to make were shut down pretty quickly. He did this last game as well. He's walling off the front, which isn't like an original move, but it seems to not be map dependent, at least so far. Both these maps. Is this something that's going to become standard? He's looking for proxy racks right now. Yeah, I mean, fair. This is a micro TERRAN. And based on the Maru rule, whenever it's the first or last game of a series, or you just won or lost a match, it's a good time to proxy. So, Stats suspicious. Right now, Clem is sus after that game. Clem just going 1 racks expand. I don't think that game... Honestly, I don't think Clem played bad. I think Stats just played better. The timings lined up. Oh, are you going to proxy a Stargate? No, but he's on this side of the rocks. Is that a robo? No, it has to be a Stargate. But he's like... If it was a Stargate, I'd think he'd put it on the other side of the rocks. We'll see. Clem. Wait, maybe I'm dumb. Clem's looking. He's not finding. What's it gonna be? Stargate. Maybe he expects that side. I don't know. Here we are. Maybe he wants to use it to warp in. We're gonna find out. So Stats, that's not even a pro... Okay, Clem. Where did that probe come from, bro? That probe came from a real suspicious angle, did it not? I guess he scouted with the probe early. Like, Stats is pulling off this mind game way better than Clem did last game. It's a very different scenario, but Stats didn't slow down his gate expand. He just All he did was build a Stargate on the map. It's not like he's rushing a Stargate. It's not even really a proxy Stargate. It's just kind of a hidden Stargate. Which is a whole nother character class entirely. With this, because Clem, there's just a few question marks right now. He's not opening Widowmine, he's opening with a Hellion. That Hellion is for scouting. Because he can bounce potentially an Adept out of position. He's now building a Widowmine, but because the Stargate is closer to the base, I think the Oracle gets in before that mine. Oh my god. Yeah, he's looking. He knows there's something. He actually, I think, looked at the pylons. The pylon timings and the tech time. Oh, the Widowmine. Oh god. He knows the numbers. Stats. Check the stats.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
Oh, come on. Oh my god. Perfectly calculated. If that Stargate had been on the other side of the rocks, the Widowmine would have been out in time. That's a little bit of a calculated... It's not like I think he timed that out perfectly. But it pans out here. The Oracle showing off how poor the acceleration and deceleration is if you don't actually micro it. We do have... Oh, he's just building Phoenixes. Okay. Phoenixes can eat a Widowmine hit. They're not happy about it. They feel kind of sick afterwards. But they can eat a hit and survive. Whereas an Oracle is killed in a single shot, as was demonstrated so dramatically last game. Stats just... So, Stats has hidden... Clem still hasn't found it, by the way. Look at Clem's vision, just on the map. Jimmy, bring up the mini-map. I know, most people haven't downloaded it. That's not the point. Clem's vision, he's looked at nearly the entire map.
Add-on complete.
And now he will look at no more. He still hasn't found the Stargate. Oh my god. Stats doesn't always proxy, but when he does, it's in the perfect location. He's just given up on finding it. Clem has put together now a tank push. And this is the thing, like, Stats has not brought his tech together. He's got a Robo-Bay on the way. He's got a third base on the way. He doesn't have that many... He's only got 2 gates. So this army is kind of reliant on Phoenix pickoffs. A single Viking in there. Combat shield, stim, and +1 are not done. There's no Colossus. If there was a Colossus, this wouldn't work at all. This is... It's kind of like... It reminds me a little bit of a Wings of Liberty push. Like, where you'd move out on the map, so that way your opponent... Like mostly against Zerg. So that way your opponent, I think he just accidentally scouted it. And because he scouted he scouted... Oh my god. So Clem accidentally scouted the Stargate, which was a mistake, because then the Phoenixes came in and killed his Viking. Because he just kind of lazily... he lazily 8-clicked all his units instead of babysitting his medevac and Viking. Oh, the Phoenixes come in again! Oh, but the Widowmine! Oh my god! Clem! A hide-and-seek expert. Grandmaster level. Beats up all the beats all the kindergartners. Oh my god. They're the most obvious spots, but it's almost impossible to see. Now, once it... Like, deja vu. We've just played this game out before. Stats up 20 workers. And Clem desperate, 2 all in. Does he just pull the boys? Come on, just do it. Clem, the boys. He's building a third, but if he doesn't kill Stats' third, it doesn't matter. At this stage, he's already lost so much. That is 4 tanks. 4 tanks must be respected. +1 combat shield stim against no upgrades. He's got some finishing up. Extended thermal lance helps him keep him at arm's reach. If your arms are quite long, almost siege tank range. A little uncomfortable, like a Slenderman thing. But that's what Colossi are all about. Oh. Clem aggressively retreats. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Oh, my God. Oh, okay. All right. We're leaving. Everyone, get out. Clem's Dunkirk here as he retreats back from France. Meanwhile, Stats fills the gap. I mean, he's got his third. The supplies are surprisingly even. I don't know what happened, but Clem was very adamant about getting out. I think Stats is kind of, like, Stats is wondering exactly, because he saw it with there was an observer out here. And he also saw it with some of the Stargate units. Like, he saw Clem sprinting back, and there was, was somebody in Archon mode and drop Zealots with a prism? No, there was no prism. There was nothing. There was nothing back at home to defend. That was just the fastest retreat I've seen in I don't know. I've never seen anyone do quite that. Not being attacked, not threatened by anything in particular. Just, we're leaving. It was the right time. It's just usually people won't stim into retreat. I'm not disagreeing with the move. I'm just surprised at how decisive it was. So, I think it was, like, Clem did exactly as much as he needed to do, which was slow the game down so Stats couldn't bully him. Last game, Stats was sitting right on his front lawn as he took a third. Clem learned from that. So Clem put himself out there. He's now bringing tech to boys. Full repair, maybe some turrets. He's maxed out. Still no armory, though. This is a no armory Terran. Oh my god, that's a lot. But it is a lot of Terran. Oh, wow. Meanwhile, though, this time there are charge lots. In the third, in the natural. Some Widow Mines will slow it down. But here comes Clem. This train will not be stopped. Unless Stats can hold the line. The tanks will siege. Great swipes. Disruptors coming up. Liberators are sieged, at least one of them. Both taken down. But the Phoenix is not a major threat to this army. 25, 26, 27 SCVs. The boys should have been pulled before this. But here comes Stats. The tank's trying to move a little forward. Just one G, Stats. Clem not going to give him the opportunity. Stats says, if I can't beat you at the front, I'll work around the sides. So far, looking like a decisive series from Stats. Clem, this no armory Terran, I didn't expect it to be such a apt description. I was like, now he builds an armory. Now he plays the late game. 2 games in a row, Clem. This is my timing. So, the Stargate openers are working right now for Stats. It feels like Clem just finds himself behind 10 workers and just trying to make something stick. We'll see. Where's the Clem? I know. I didn't sign up for a 3-0. I didn't sign up. Let's go, Clem. He's not walling off the natural on this map. I think it might be map dependent. Or maybe he's playing a full seer. I don't know. I don't even know what to switch here. Like, if I was in Clem's Twitch chat telling him how to play, which is a customary practice, what would I say to him? Well, should have built battle cruisers, obviously. But also, I think like a Hellion build, maybe? Hellion build to open? Like, the straight-up 1-1-1s seem to get picked apart. Like a reactored Hellion style. But what if stats doesn't go for the Stargate again? Hellion builds get kind of picked apart by Stargate. If they're scouted, that is. Oh, Stats is pretty diligent. He knows that according to the Maru rule, this is a great time for a proxy from Clem. Will he proxy a Stargate again? That wasn't like... It just is working. I feel a little bit of this series has been the Stargate coming together for stats. Like, Clem's getting a little unlucky with... And of course, it's not really luck, but the calculated gambles are not rolling his way right now. Oh, it's a reactor first. Oh, did Clem listen? How did he listen in the past? That's how good Terrans are. Wait, is it? Is it Hellions? He's gonna go 4 Marines, but then does he go Hellion? Cure has been going for some crazy Widowmine build, just generally. Cure's like, I want units I don't need to micro. Which is, we're never gonna go a single Terran or even non-Terran cast without Cure being involved. Cure, the Slayer of Serral, and also the professional player who makes it look like anyone could do it. I'm so sorry, Cure, but not sorry enough every time. Okay, he's just gonna open Clone. The Cyclone, a good middle ground move. Cyclone can help deal with Stargate and small amounts of units early. It kind of counters everything, but nothing particularly well. Maybe like early Void Ray. It's just, I need anti-air and anti-ground. And I don't know what exactly I'm dealing with. So, Cyclone it is. Blink is the choice. Stats mixing it up. No Stargate this time around. Blink is a fresh choice. He's gonna scout with the Shades. He sees no reactored factory. It's likely a tech lab factory behind it. Wait. Did he finish the Cyclone, right? Yeah, it's out here. Oh my god. Calm down. Who's controlling this camera? An early tank push, attack to tank push here. Against Blink Stalker, it's going to be 4-gate Blink. But if Stats doesn't see this until it shows up, it's not going to matter much. He's going to have the Observer. He'll have enough time for a couple Warpins. Does Clem see the Observer? I'm sure he does. He doesn't have the energy, though. He dropped the meals. There's no scans. Can Clem break through? There's no Blink for 10 seconds. The timing is thin here, but it's there. Vikings on the deck. He realizes this isn't Stargate. This is Stalkers. I don't need anti-air. Vikings pretty good anti-ground, actually. The Cyclone microed back. Vikings able to hit the Stalkers. Marines and tanks as well. Battery overcharge used. There's just the one pylon at the front to warp in right now. There's the one at the back as well, but if this one gets depowered, that's half his gates. The Cyclone still coming up. Bunker holding the back line. He blocks on top, but the second tank just sieged up. That's a lot of damage. SCVs, more tactic boys. Viking looking for an opportunity. He's down to 3 Stalkers. The probes are pulled, but Clem executing stats. 10 probes and counting. He found the window and he climbed through just in time. Well, here's your solution. Just don't let him get the tech. Scans the obs for extra spice. And that blink was at the worst possible time as the second tank sieged up. All the Vikings still getting full damage against mechanical units. And Clem has 2 base. This isn't a 1 base all in. So even though he's picked off some units, like, even if you blink your way out of this, you're not blinking your way out of this game. Even Parting would struggle here. He has no probes at the net. Every probe that comes out dies. Immortal shows up, creating a very awkward scenario. That tank might be a little far forward. Shield battery overcharge is back up. Stats will hold. Right? Yes. 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 Okay. Oh. Okay. He blinked forward. Oh my god, he lost another stalker. So Stats isn't dead. I mean... There's a big difference between not losing and winning, though. And Stats understands that. It's just, there's a dream. There's a dream. You warp in as many stalkers as you can. And you pray. He's got an Immortal in the Prism. Full HP. He can drop it to tanks, if you would. Drops a Zealot, tanks a tank. Oh, can't lose the Prism! The Prism is everything. The Immortal holds. Another Warpin. He scans for it. You can't lose that Prism. Loses the Immortal. Clem can afford to lose SCVs here. It's still a little dicey. If he lost the Prism, it'd be already... What are you doing with that Prism? Are you insane? Oh my god. He needs to calm down. The Stalkers, like, the fact that Stats is drawing it this close. He blinks onto 1 tank. Goes for 2. Goes for 2! He gets 2! The Stalkers are being thinned out. The Prism itself, vulnerable. Doesn't... Oh no! He had 2 like, Stats keeps getting so close. But finally, drops off the cliff. For a moment, if that Prism had not taken such a ridiculous amount of damage right off the bat, this would have been a game. But Stats obviously under a lot of pressure and struggle. This time Clem got off to the early lead and ran with it. Not the most reliable victory, but a victory. And Clem's on the board. It's 2-1. Lightshade. Yeah, I don't think Clem's gonna get another win like that. Stats definitely mixing it in. He pulled from his Protoss deck another build, as is customary in any longer series. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a return. To the Stargate play. He was doing well with this. Like, I don't necessarily think just because he knows it's Stargate means it's bad. It's not as effective. But overall, just going Okay, this is a little awkward. Alright. Oh, he's gonna NG Bay block. Ha! Alright!
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
But So this is what Beyond has popularized ever since his return. It's not that much of a delay. Is it worth it? It definitely throws off the build for both sides, and I think Clem is an agent of chaos. The weirder the game, some of the weirdest games and most micro-intensive games feature Clem. So anything he can do to throw stats off his plan, I think is good for Clem. Not today, probe. Not today. But the probe does scout. It's going to be a reactor and a factory, which is the important info. Does he need that shield battery in the main? I mean, it's only 100 minerals, and it's useful later on as well. Like, it's never bad to have a shield battery in the main. It's just the timing we're debating. Hellion time. And against Hellion, shield battery is very helpful. Takes 3 Hellion shots to kill a probe in a single volley. Stargate is back in the production tab. A little later because of the awkward start. But I'm interested to see how the Hellions stack up against the Stargate build. What if he does like a Hellbat build? A stim starts. So this looks like it's going to be a quick medevac timing. Kind of like the previous timings, but this time with Widow Mines and Hellions instead of tanks. Designed to pressure a third. And I think... Oh, is he going to get in? No. I think against a slightly delayed Stargate and a Stats who is unlikely to do any damage, I think this lines up real nice for him. Clem has chosen a strong build against what Stats is doing. Of course, right now, both of them have denied information. It's a poker game. And neither sees what cards the other is holding unless they make an active effort. Of course, TERRAN has map hacks for energy, but you don't want to waste that early. He didn't build an Oracle, by the way. Stats skipped the Oracle straight into Phoenix, which against most TERRAN builds would be good. A hidden Widowmine again. But against someone who's opting for 2 racks early on, like, you're not shutting down a Widowmine drop, you're not killing a Liberator, you're not knocking out a Banshee. You're dealing with a direct attack with a lot of Stim Marines. So the Phoenixes, that is like the worst case for Phoenixes. There's nothing to really pick off. Picking up 1 or 2 Marines isn't going to help. If you're able to get maybe a medevac or something, okay, but that's a lot of gas invested in something that's just not going to stack up great against what Clem is doing. The Phoenixes are spotted. Clem knows now. Another, well, robotics facility is on the way. This time, Stats careful not to take his third too early. Stats is... He's always so quick on his expansions, but sometimes, occasionally, too quick. Like last game, he obviously wanted to take a third while attacking, and he didn't quite have the units out in time. Though Clem did choose a great timing as well. Observer, snap it. Wait, does he have... It's the same thing. He doesn't have, scans. It's the Tactiboy. No SCVs for you. The Observer following this. Stats a little supply blocked. Realizes no... He's going to go for the counterattack. The question will be, how much damage can Clem do? There's no Colossus on the way. The roll base done. Did he not have the gas? I guess he really just wants to focus on these tanks, or maybe just didn't have the resources overall. Meanwhile, though, target firing the tank with the Immortal. The Adept's going to try to zone out, picks up the other tank, gunning down some of the Phoenixes. The Guardian Shield is helping out insanely much. The Guardian Shield reducing all that Marine damage. Doing some push-ups with the tank, but eventually knocks it down permanently. And Stats. Well, he realizes he has the units he needs. He doesn't let that attack take root. He doesn't let the bunker complete. He doesn't let the tanks live. And Clem stuffed at the door for now. But another attack is coming in. Both sides escalating the engagement. We have not that many, like, Stats is just now building probes after winning that engagement. He's up 10, but that's not an overwhelming economy. If he loses the third, he's back to square one or -1. It depends on how this game ends up. Adepts, and there's not enough energy for a Guardian Shield. And the unit count is getting so high, it's not as much of a deciding factor in the fights, but it's always important to have. He's still building Phoenixes. He's still going down that road. He has it. He's investing in it. The Phoenixes have gotten good value thus far. No reason not to continue, especially while you transition into more Twilight-based plays. This is such a weird commitment. 6 SCVs. So, it's not all in, but it's also, like... it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a weird amount. He really wants to make sure. I think that's partially for repairing the tanks in the air, by the way. It sounds weird, but when the tanks are lifted, mostly only Phoenixes hit them. So he can out-repair the tanks when they're lifted, while the Marines kill the Phoenixes. Which is just and also, of course, build turrets, which helps too. He's building a turret in the base, being very careful with Stats, waiting for his moment. Another Colossi finishes. I think it's time to go. With this Colossi popping out, it's time to go. There's nothing else ready to finish. He's going for it. He's got the tanks in the sky. The Phoenixes knocked down immediately. The Marines find a great engagement angle. The Colossi are focused. Oh, now they are. But he loses one. He's down to 1 Colossus. Stats trying to hold. He's on the front door. The turret's helping out a lot. Turrets hit Colossi as well. They're too tall. They're too tall. Immortals, on the other hand, too stubby. Cannot be hit by turrets. Catches a tank. Reinforcing, but Clem finding a better concave. And he actually darts towards the third. Stats is cut off from his own base. The probe's retreating. Colossi stepping forward. Shield battery overcharge on cooldown. Cyber Core taken out. Colossus standing tall. Can he target it down? Immortal taken out. It's just Colossi here. Stats is crumbling. His army supply is tiny. He's going to have some... I don't know what sort of miracle defense. Charge is finishing. +1 is finishing soon. He's trying to keep the third alive. Without it... I don't... He still has the probes. The refugee probes here. There's no... Where are you going to go? He doesn't have really the energy to recall, even if he wanted to use it on that. Shield battery overcharged, but here comes the Liberator! The Terran army knocks down both Colossi and draws it even. Clem ties it up at 2-2. Another decisive timing. Shutting down Stats before he can get his third base up and running, really. Not a single armory built this whole series. I want to point out, I'm not sure if it was intentional. I have to assume it was. Clem got +1 infantry armor first. He only has 1 NG base, so that was, I guess, for the Marines. The Marines weren't the DPS. They were there to tank for the tanks. Almost unanimously, it's been agreed, like, you go for +1 weapons. But he went for the armor first, and it paid off. So, interesting choice. Well, this has gotten a lot more dramatic. Hopefully, you're enjoying the series. If so, like, subscribe, ring the bell. All those things. Hopefully you're enjoying my take on these way, way, way better players. But I could definitely beat them, right, guys? Leave a comment. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the support. I hope you've enjoyed. And now it's time for the dramatic conclusion. Unless it's a draw, in which case, oh my god, my brain. Fix the kit. Thank you. It hasn't been the series I expected. I really expected some more late game battles. Some, like, we're talking, like, Stargate, like, Fleet Beacon against Liberators. Something that involved an armory. Like, but we haven't gotten that. It's been about Clem, really. Stats has been stats. Stats has been trying to defend, even if aggressively, and hold the line against Clem's timings. He's succeeded half the time. Will this be the decider? Or will it go... Will he defend again, essentially? I expect Stargate again. I expect essentially whatever stats his safest build is. Whatever he's most comfortable with. In Pillars of Gold, on 2 bases, you can defend most things. Get your unit composition and work with it. And now will Clem mix it up? Like, Clem has actively and obviously tried to avoid going to the later game. And that is a completely valid strat, obviously. Especially if you know your opponent specializes in the mid to late game. Why let him get there? That's the question Clem has been asking and answering the last few matches. We'll see. And also, by the way, can we talk about how insane... Like, even in a best of 5, a reverse sweep at this level is very rare. Like, a single-digit % of series, probably low single digits, are ever like 2-0 to 3, like 2-0 to 3-2. Probably not that low. Best of 7s, it's definitely low. It either takes a severe breakdown on the leading player's part, or just a combination of sneaky and genius play from the other one. Adept baited in. So, it's intentional that he waits so long to raise the deep... Well, most of the time it's intentional. Because the AI of units... units in SC2 are pretty smart. But when the depots are down, the Adept Shade just knows, oh, I can get in the base. Whereas if the depots were down before the Adept tries to go up the ramp, it would just go to the side. Like, I can't get in. I don't know. We'll get close. So... if Clem waits until the Shade is going up the ramp, that's potentially baits it in to getting killed. Oh my god. Oh my god, he just got in. Oh, the Hellion's not supposed to be in here. He saw the Dark Shrine. Now here's the ultimate mind game, by the way. This actually, I'm going to make a case for seeing the Dark Shrine being worse than not seeing it. Even though, like... So he saw a Dark Shrine when it's halfway done, which means stats 100% could just cancel it and not go for any DTs. And if Clem counters DTs, then he finds himself significantly behind. Now, of course, if he kills multiple Adepts, that doesn't hurt. Whereas, if he doesn't cancel it and Clem under-counters DTs, well, then DTs, right? Like, the SCV citizens arrest! Stats just sticks with the Dark Shrine, because he understands, like, you don't have that much energy. There's just not that much energy to work with. Oh my god, both sides slaughtering the workers! Rise up and seize the memes of production! Both DTs die in a single scan. A big mistake out of stats. That was completely... Oh. Wow, okay. What are you doing, stats? I'm pretty sure Clem expected a cancel. He didn't have any other scans? Really? I think Clem expected him to cancel the Dark Shrine. Like, he thought he was bluffing. But Stats just stuck with it. This is, oh my god. Okay. There's a Raven on the way. The Warp Prism and Medevac angrily stare each other down before going their separate ways. Clem is taking the DTs pretty seriously now for obvious reasons. Turret in the main. Gets 1, 2. Gets out with just shield damage. So a bit of a scrappy start to this game. It is... Ow! Well, that DT hurt worse. Stats! Come on! Is that an SCV? You have an SC... Get out of there! What a mess. This game off to a... Oh, no. Oh, okay, I guess this is our stop? So he came back with the Medevac to come try to snipe the Prism. And now there's an Archon with its son, the Dark Templar. You see, before we merged, we had our son, Brutus, the DT. And now there's the Immortal and 2 Stalker drop in the main. He could, now the Raven could Interference Matrix, like Brutus and his parents, who have named themselves their Archon name, Bob, in honor of the fallen Zealot, of course. Not their given name, Cletus and Samantha, which is like a traditional Protoss Templar name. There's a Colossus! What? When did that happen? What is going on? Headbutt the Medevac! Did he not get that upgrade? Headbutt it! Just, come on! Come on! Come on! Meanwhile, what? Why are they here? What's happening? What is going on? The Colossus can only walk so fast. It doesn't have its Warp Prism chauffeur. Nobody's really doing damage, but they're both really trying to. Oh, we're back. Meanwhile, Clem's drop actually, he just finished Stim. Oh, he's doing real probe damage. Meanwhile, oh, the Archon drop. Oh, no, not here. Not here. Run, fly, you fool. I can't believe what is going on. The scan. But interference matrices, real threat, Archon drop, bigger threat, or is it? It's unclear. He actually lets it unload. He's got to scramble the Colossi. Gets 1, but he doesn't have combat shield, so every swipe is huge. Where did that Medevac go? It's back over at the front, looking for a second scramble. Waits out photon over, battery overcharge. What year is it? That's a lot of shield batteries coming up. Clem is stalled out a bit, but his units are getting better with time. Stats doesn't have a huge economic lead if you factor in mules for a while, and he doesn't have great upgrades. So Clem can afford to wait out the energy, and he needed combat shield. Combat shield was a big part. He took a tough first engagement, but here comes Stats. 1 Colossus disabled. The Bio tucked in behind the bunker and the tanks. The Colossus targeted, but the battery's holding on. Battery overcharge, 10 seconds out. Target's down at Archon. Still 3 Colossi. Battery overcharge is back online. Clem stalled out, rebuilding a bunker. The Medevac's healing up the Bio. Not too many tanks went down. He's still got 3 in this position. Sending more units across. Oh, he has to go. Battery overcharge, huge part of this here. Keeping that Colossus intact. Targets to the left. But the Colossi are tanking the tank shots in that role reversal. A Viking shows up to the party, but it doesn't last long here. It gets kicked out immediately by the Bouncer Stalkers. Clem driven back across the map, and the Shield of AIUR holds the line. as Clem once again tries to break through, but he is. Not a single armory was built in the making of this production. Clem obviously didn't want to go to the late game against Stats, but Stats held, as Stats do. So, he holds again. Clem, I was hoping to see a little more of the late game, but at the end of the day, Stats still got it. He's still one of, if not the best Protoss in the world. There was a time when Zest had kind of taken over the mantle. And to borrow Tastosis' commentary, like, more than any other race, Protoss has, like, a leader. Whoever is the captain of the Protoss ship, everyone's following. So Stats, the shield Protoss, like, when he's the captain, the Protoss have a direction, a beacon, some guidance. Every once in a while, like, Parting or SOS or Zest get control of the boat, and things get weird. And then eventually Stats brings us back on course. But congratulations. Thank you to DreamHack, of course, for sending out the games and putting them on. Thank you to the players. Clem's run ends here, and Stats will move on. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Check out these, hopefully, incredible videos. And Twitch chat. Give them some winter love, some winter hype. And also, what do you think? How does TERRAN play late game against Protoss? Was it just Clem not confident, or is Stats too strong? Thank you for watching. Good luck. And have fun. But I do feel like with this music, you just gotta let it play out. We've gone this far.